Today I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step process of how you set up this multi-layered worm farm called a can of worms from Full Cycle. The first thing we're going to do is cut away this ribbon and see what's in the box. Well, the first thing you'll see is our box of worms, but we don't need those quite yet, so I'm going to put those aside. And then the cardboard packaging, but don't throw this away. This is all about recycling. We're going to use this too. Once we pop open the lid, see there's some nice ventilation in there, and in the box a manual which will explain to us what we need to do, a bunch of legs, a tap, and a block of worm bedding which the worms are going to live in. The worm bedding is coconut fiber. It's incredibly hard, and we're going to pop it into some warm water to soften it up while we're assembling the rest of the worm farm. And it's better to use warm water. This will speed up the process, and do it in the packaging, because this is, as I mentioned, not about wasting anything, and the worms are going to munch on this too. Well, the outer layers started to soften up a little bit already, and while that's doing its thing, let's get busy on assembling our farm. Well, this is known as the sump, and you can see it's got a raised area in the middle. This is to aid any worms. If they get trapped in the bottom, they can at least find their way back up to the higher layers. And if you have a look around here, this is where our tap goes into, and if I pop it over, we can start putting in our legs. You pop them in with the nice part facing outwards. You're just going to make sure these seams are all the way to the top. Well, there we go, and now it's time for the tap. Well, with the tap, you remove this off the back, and there's a small little O-ring here which you leave on the tap, and make sure not to tighten it too hard and compress that too much, otherwise it's going to leak. So you just pop it in there and come around the back here and screw it on. And now we get to the fun part of adding our first tray, and this is where we go and retrieve that cardboard that we weren't using earlier. You basically rip off the edges and take this and push it into the bottom. You only do this the first time, and this is just to stop the coconut fibers from actually falling through down into the sump. Well, here we go. Wow, if you have a look in there, you'll see it's almost absorbed all the water. It's incredible. Well, now we take these and we pop them in here. Aha. There's those bits of packaging which are going into. Spread those out nice and evenly, just breaking up any clumps that may be left behind. And this is incredible stuff for worms to both live and feed in. And now we're going to add some worms. So I've got my little box of treasures here. They can survive in this box for about 2 weeks, so it's important not to leave them too long and get them out into your worm farm as soon as possible. Wow. And just bring those a little closer to the camera. There are my little beauties that are going to be doing all the work. So we're just going to empty this out into here nicely. and spread that out a bit. And what we want to do now is we want to wait for them to crawl down underneath the coconut husk. And there they go, my little beauties. There's only 5 species of worms, not that I'm aware of what these are, that can actually do this. So these are different from your common garden worms. Once they've disappeared nicely, which I'm just encouraging these to do, we take damp newspaper, not wet, and we shred it up and lay it over the worms. And now we're going to take our second tray and put this on top of the first. And the idea here is that the bottom layer makes contact with the next, but that we're not actually squashing the worms and the coconut husk down here below. Now we're going to add some kitchen waste, and really the best things are veggies, veggie scraps, things like that. But no meat and no acidic things, or very little acidic things like orange peels and lemon peels and so on. As the worm population grows, we're going to be able to add more food. And really at the moment I need to either feed them every day or up to every 4 days. And what the worms will do here is they'll go out and find the food. So they'll come up from the bottom layer into this layer. We also add some more newspaper. Just grab it in multi-layers and break it up into small strips and just throw it in here and mix it within the food. So once again, damp, but not soaking wet. Now we just close it up. Some people store this away in the interim before their worms multiply and they start using this tray as well. But for the sake of neatness, I'm just going to keep mine here on the bin, pop the lid on, and that's it for my can of worms. And over the next coming weeks and months, I'm going to make a few more video clips just to show you guys the progress and keep you up to speed with how I'm doing.